Hi, everyone. I am so glad to be back on a solo episode, soulosode, here for you. I've just felt I actually kind of missed this space. Although I've had like incredible guests lately, I really felt like I actually needed to give this to me and to you to almost ground myself back into the energy and all the shifts and the transitions that have been taking place on the collective and in my own personal world. I have been in the depths of creating a huge event called My Time to Rise Summit that is happening in Regina in a week. This episode is actually getting aired today, April 3rd, which is my son's 17th birthday. I'll talk about that in a second. And I'm pre-recording it, obviously. We're going to jump timelines a lot here and do some quantum leaping. And this summit came into being only 3 weeks ago from the time I'm recording this, and 5 weeks ago from the time this episode gets launched. So it's been a wild ride. And I've been using the phrase rocket ship energy a lot because it's been very fast moving energy. When you get an intuitive nudge, and I've learned from Florence Scovel Shinn to never hesitate. Don't doubt those intuitive nudges. Just take action right away, inspired action. It can lead you into launching something really, really quickly. Like in linear time, 6 weeks doesn't seem like a lot of time to pull off a big event. And yet, in divine mind, it's perfect. It's the time that we needed. It was here, we have it, and it's perfect to create what we've created. So it has been rocket ship energy. I haven't worked so hard in the last few weeks that I've worked in a really long time, and yet none of it's felt like work. I have hit a couple moments of overwhelm, but I recognize what that was, and I just brought everything back to my center and release this idea that the overwhelm really just comes always from the survival mind or the pattern of how am I going to get all this done, all the things, all the things, all the things. And when you just recognize, acknowledge the overwhelm as a pattern, it typically dissolves quite quickly. And we have gotten 3 billboards up. We've received sponsorships magically out of the blue. We've been selling tickets. We've had amazing, magical ideas to give and serve in a way that we're bringing extra. We're bringing the extra, extra. And it's just been a lot of fun and very aligned. And I do believe that that's the energy when things are really aligned with you. It doesn't mean that you don't come up against yourself or grow or transform or go beyond your edge and everything like that. However, what it does mean when you're in the flow, when you're in the flow, you know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, being who you're supposed to be being. And this is like a quantum leap that's going to shift you to a brand new timeline, right? So this all started with me having an intuitive nudge of reaching out to a friend, Vinston Donaldson, you might have seen his episode as of recent, to reach out to him about asking about taking my speaking career to the next level because I always see myself on stage in meditations, in visualizations. I can't tell you how many times I'm there. And fun fact about me, you might not know this. I was in every speaking competition I could get myself into in high school. And I wanted to be a motivational speaker in high school. I also wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be all the things. I think I still want to be all the things, and I am being all the things. So I've just really felt this magnetic pull to stages. And Vincent has done speaking gigs in the past. So I reached out to him and we ended up connecting on Zoom. And he had this idea for an event. And we said yes. And we got another woman involved. And it just all happened really fast and unfolded perfectly. And now here we are in a week's time from today. we will be standing on stage at the My Time to Rise Summit, and it is just going to be magical. It's a portal of transformation. If you're listening to this and you don't have a ticket yet, there are still tickets available. We would love to see you out there. We are coming from the energy and the essence of heart-centered service. And at the same time, we're all activated within ourselves, going for it, like breaking through the glass ceiling, becoming the version of ourselves that are already being and doing, big events like this. And so I always say life activates and brings you through this activation in order to grow you into the person that you're meant to be doing the thing you're meant to be doing. And so that energy is included in this event. So if you're a person that's been wanting to activate your dreams, wanting to activate your next level of potential, wanting to activate a new timeline and moving actually forward and maybe even a quantum leap into being that, this is the place to be. It's also the place to be if you have a certain struggle, if you keep finding yourself in the same loop or the same pattern over and over and over again. All I can say is I know from experience that when you immerse yourself, even in a 4 hour event, when you immerse yourself, when you let go of your current world, your environment, you give yourself permission to actually be somebody new. And it's not like you're being somebody different. This newness is what you already are. It's just kind of buried, laying dormant within inside of you, and it's your soul. Your soul wants to wake up. Your soul wants to get activated, and it wants to go on the ride of its life with you. And I could talk about this forever. My particular section is called Born Worthy. I don't know if you guys can see this. I was gonna wear my Worthy hat too. I got this sweater made as a I'm looking into getting some merch. I should have put the hat on. Maybe I'll go around and grab it. Um, I love the sweater. I love the hat. I definitely think I'm going to be having the hats for sure for merchandise. So if you guys are interested in that, if I do end up going to show it, sorry, my desk moved. Um, yeah, now I feel like I'm just gonna start spinning in my chair. Take a deep breath. Born Worthy is where it's at. I really feel this has been the umbrella of my rebranding in the last few months as well. And it's actually been my core message since I can remember. And I've just had so much clarity around that being born worthy. This idea that it's already done. We are born worthy. We are inherently worthy simply because we exist. We were given the gift of life, and life received the gift of us. You are the gift. You are the jackpot. Life is the lottery. Anytime we expand, we grow, we become more of what we really are. We experience more love. We experience more joy. We experience more peace. We experience more awe and wonder and being wowed by the universe. This is all part of it. And yeah, my heart and soul is in Born Worthy, but I won't give my whole speech away. You'll have to come and see it. And I'm really excited for that. I'm also really excited that today is my son's birthday, 17. Like, wow. I still remember my parents always saying, like, kids grow up so fast. I'm sure I heard it from more places than just my parent. And it's so true. It's so true. Kids do grow up so fast. Life does go by so fast, especially when it's the things that you love and the people that you love. Time is such an illusion, and I say that all the time, and life is so weird. And I mean that in the best way. Life is so weird, and time can move so quickly, and it can also feel very, very slow. And time is an illusion. So our relationship with time really is something that we get to cultivate and become very consciously aware of on our own. We can create a relationship with time that says, time is always on my side. Everything is always working out for me. I'm always in the right place in the right time. Um, my most favorite one as of late that actually I received from my higher self is everything recalibrates in my favor. all my manifestations happen faster than I expect. So this is not a relationship with time that we're born with, but it is a relationship with time we can consciously create with ourselves because most of us have a very small, narrow relationship with time that's filled with lack, that's filled with stories of why is this taking so long? For me, for example, chronic conditions, right? If you think of the word chronic, it means they've been around a long time. There, it's just chronically been here. So I have been consciously working with my relationship with time because I realize that's just a story I picked up along the way. That's just like a subconscious program and a conditioning that I picked up along the way. It doesn't mean it's true. It's just what I'm familiar with, right? So we can talk about this and really change our relationship with time. And we do that by creating what we want our relationship with time to be and for it to be fun and for it to feel light. And then it's about leaning into that and also the power of repetition so that it actually anchors into our subconscious mind and the awareness of when we're falling back into the familiar relationship with time, catching ourselves and then recalibrating it or reframing it, right? So I went on a tangent there. I was talking about my son being 17. Anyways, this kid, he's just incredible. He's 17. He has a girlfriend. He does really well in school. He still is obsessed with the gym. He thinks really big. He is still a teenager in every sense, whatever that means. If you've had a teenager, you can lean into that. There are certain aspects. You know, the teenager phase of life is when your ego develops, your personality really kicks in. You're very strong in what you believe about life and what you believe about you. You are testing your freedom in every sense. And I think it's miraculous and marvelous. And I've always tried to be that mom that values these changes and transitions and allows myself to process them in the way that I need to for me. So, him being 17 is a celebration. And I had a moment where I thought, oh my gosh, another year he's going to be graduated high school. He may be moving out. I think it got triggered from some scene in a movie. And I had a moment of, oh my gosh, like he's been my whole life. So there was that moment of already grieving, the grief process of all the changes and what it looks like. In that sense, I'm not going to dwell that and put my energy into that because it's not even here yet. And I love that he's chosen not to drink and do drugs. I mean, life has changed. Like our time and what's available to our children has changed. And I also think it's the coolest thing, me having a podcast, that I can say these things out loud. So one day when I'm not around, he could hear me actually saying these things out loud. And now, on that note, I try to say as much as I can to him in person, as much as he'll listen to me anyways. But I do know because I was a teenager once, right? We only hear our parents through a certain lens and a filter. And then we go through phases in our lives where, oh man, if I could only hear my dad say that to me one more time. So, the love and the appreciation for podcasting to know that my episodes, well, and I don't even know that for sure. Maybe the podcasting industry will change and it will get all wiped out one day. But for right now, I know that there's a possibility that Bryce could listen to this one day and I'm going to speak as if you are. You are the light of my world. You are my hero, and you always will be. You make me proud every single day. And it's not by anything that you do. but it's by your essence and your radiance and how you show up in the world and how you choose to be and how you choose to learn and how you choose to grow and make decisions. And there's nothing that you could do or be to make me love you any less. And I know what true unconditional love is because I felt it the moment I knew you were growing in my belly. And that's something that does not leave a mother, no matter what. So I love you, buddy. I hope you have the most amazing birthday and many, 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 many more to come. All right. Shake off that emotion. And we're going to get into today's hot topic. You get a little bit of everything today, but I actually wanted to talk about flirting with money and vibrational currency and leaning into the play of the flirtatious energy around money. And this, of course, was inspired by a life experience just a couple days ago when I literally was in the magic of abundance, the magic of blessings, the magic of when you feel like the universe is winking at you and like you're just rendezvousing and flirting with the universe and having this awesome divine playground kind of day. And I walked into a really high-end fashion store. I bought a pair of jeans there last year, and I don't know for sure, but I think I'm pretty close when I say I don't think there's anything for under $200 in there. Now, I haven't looked that closely. So I was looking at blazers, and I've actually been wanting to manifest this blazer. I don't know exactly what blazer it is, but it's a blazer that really just matches my big energy, my timeline, quantum leaping rock star kind of energy. And I saw a couple that caught my eye and I was looking at prices and the first one I looked at was $950. And this wave of, oh boy. Oh boy. Well, wait a second. I can actually lean into that. Like internally I was kind of feeling this energy of I can lean into it because right away, the familiar of what I believe of that being expensive showed up because I am human too. And then I shifted into, wait a second, I could actually buy that today if I really wanted to, but it wasn't quite like it wasn't 100% light me the F up kind of blazer, right? But I was leaning into this energy and I was walking around the store, and the lady that works there was the same lady that helped me last year, and she actually recognized me. I had my ball cap on, my Born Worthy ball cap, my ripped jeans, and I'm in this high-end fashion store. It was awesome. And then all of a sudden, I saw this other blazer, and it had all these cool decals on it. It's from Voltaire. Even when I say that, Voltaire, I'm flirting with the energy of Voltaire. Um, I said out loud to her, I said, "Well, I'm playing with and leaning into the energy of spending this much on a blazer." And she was just like right in it with me. And she's like, "Well, you might as well try it on." I was like, "Okay." It had the big poofy shoulders. I don't mind a little poof, but the big poofy shoulders, yeah, that doesn't quite get me. And it was a little tight on my biceps, and it's probably just because I've been working out so much. Ha ha ha. And it wasn't quite the right fit, which was perfect, right? Because even in that energy, um, I was playing. I was vibrationally spending money, not actually physically spending money. And I was flirting with the idea of being able to, just whoosh, easily, effortlessly walk into a store like that, buy a blazer for $1,000. And I actually said to her, when I get my first contracting gig for $25,000 for a speech, I am going to get a custom made blazer because now I actually have a lot of ideas of what I would love to have it look like. And because I'm an artist and a little bit of a rebel and a soul liberator, I mean, I could come up with some really cool things with the right designer. So that seed has definitely been planted. And it reminded me of how a long time ago I chose not to say, even with my son and I, we chose not to ever say again, we can't afford something. Because immediately as you say we, even if it's true, okay, even if you don't actually have the money right now, the belief that I can't afford it actually isn't true. That's just a belief. That is a story, a construct that it has been planted and built over time about my belief around money, how easy it comes in, how easy it goes out, how much I have, the lack of not having it. It all formulates. There's like, if you really unpack the statement, I can't afford that, there is so much in that one statement. So we decided as a family never to use that statement again. And instead, even if it's about to come out of our mouth, same with that's too expensive or that's so expensive. Because if you even look at the word expense, okay, as soon as you say expensive, you are separating yourself from the thing when you are actually not separate from the thing and you're not separate from the money. You are the money and you are the thing. You're not separate from it. That that thing that you want or desire actually just reveals more of what you really are, more of God, more of source energy, more of the divine within you. It's not that you need it, right, to make you feel a certain way, but if it's a desire, it reveals something about you that wants to be revealed because you are so loved by the divine. So I want you to start thinking about when you say, I can't afford or it's too expensive. If you look at the word expense, EX is in it. X, your ex-husband, your ex-boyfriend, your ex job or career, X, it's in the past. Like it's already in the past. You're already saying in that moment that that's back there and it's no longer with me. I'm not worthy of it anymore and I don't want it. That is the energy that you're putting out. So every time you phrase that and you use that, you are reestablishing that you are separate from it, that it's in your past, it's back there, it no longer belongs to you, it's no longer a part of your life. You're not worthy of it anymore. Something happened, you don't even want it in your life anymore. It's so interesting how language really is so incredibly powerful. Okay? So the uncomfortable thing to do is to actually catch yourself when you say that, acknowledge it and go, whoa, hold on a second. What am I really saying here? And then forgiving yourself, having compassion, of course, always. And then the uncomfortable part is actually doing the opposite. So I'm not saying to put yourself in a debt deficit or to put yourself in scarcity even more or more in lack and like find a way to buy the thing and put it on your credit card or take out a loan. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is start flirting with the idea that actually you can afford that and it's not out of your league. It's not too expensive. In fact, it's just something that you desire and you can flirt with your desire. You can flirt with your desire. And if you flirt with your desire, you actually take money out of the equation. And when you come into the energy of flirtatiousness, you're very playful. You're light. You're unattached. You're like, hmm. Check me out. Check me out. Check my desire out. Oh, yeah, I like that. I like that. You're stepping into the possibility of what it would feel like to actually be with your desire. And it doesn't matter realistically how the desire comes. I mean, somebody could buy you. For example, somebody could buy me a blazer. I could have a client show up out of the blue that pays me, more than the blazer is worth, and I easily go and get the blazer. I mean, the way it comes is not up to you. Like the how, your job is actually to realize that you're worthy of your desire and to act as though you're worthy of your desire. Someone who's not worthy of their desire would say immediately, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. Close doors, close doors, close doors, close doors. Every time you say, that's too expensive. I can't afford that. You're literally closing the door on your own desire. That's like slamming the door in God's face. That's a bold statement, but in a way, that's energetically the frequency that you're sending out. You'd be like, okay, I can desire something for a second, and then boom, your ego comes in and says, have you ever been able to afford something like that before? What would people think of you if you spent that much money on a blazer? Do you really need to walk around with all that bling on your body? I mean, people are going to think you're stuck up and full of yourself. Okay? Or you would have the guilt of, oh, I could use that money for something else. See, now you end up getting an extra expense and you're like, damn, I shouldn't have spent that money on the blazer. I could have used that money for this. We do this to ourselves all the time. I'm hoping you're seeing yourself in my incident, in my situation that I'm sharing with you, and using this as an actual tangible action step to the next time you think I can't afford that or say that's too expensive, you are reaffirming that belief. And if you actually desire something new for yourself and something different, you cannot be creating from the same familiar beliefs. So here's the question then. Are you willing to let go of a familiar belief? Are you willing to let go of a familiar story that keeps you in a life and in experiences that you actually don't even prefer or want? They might be comfortable. Are you willing to get a little uncomfortable? What would it be like if you were actually the person who didn't say that anymore? I can't afford it. That's actually not too expensive. If I want it, I can have it. I might not be able to buy it today, or even a week from now, or even a month from now. But if I desire it, then I know that that desire is available to me. It's a mirror of me. It wants to reveal something about me to me. And that's unconditional love. That's from God. That's from Source Creator. That's from wanting to reveal something about you to the world, to work through you in that way. And yes, it can be through desires, and it can be through material gains, and it can be through money, and it can be through opportunities. Why do we limit an unlimited God? Why do we keep closing doors on untapped, limitless possibility and this field of potentiality? Because we're scared, because we learned that, because we heard things growing up like you can't have it all. Actually, you can't have everything you want. Well, I'm here to be the controversy. Actually, you can. You can actually have what you want and more. And life always is giving you what you're asking for. It's giving you what you're asking for from a really deep subconscious belief system and programming. And I'm just saying, we're not here to like negate that we live in a physical world, a physical reality where we materialize things. That's part of the manifestation process. We're not supposed to reject that. The growth and the maturity that comes as we emotionally mature and spiritually mature is that our happiness isn't found in the material, in the physical. Our happiness is found within. And we understand that when we materialize something or dimensionalize something, pull something from the 5D into the 3D, that it's because we're expressing another form of God, another form of spirit, another form of source, energy, creator, infinite intelligence, love. That's actually what we're doing. And it's fun, and it gets to be fun. So we get to flirt with our desires. And flirting is abundance. We're no longer coming from a place of lack. We're no longer holding ourselves hostage to an old story that says, I can't have that because dot, 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 because I have a bill coming in a week, because I don't even know how I'm going to pay my rent, because I made that big purchase like 3 months ago and I'm still paying it off, because I really want to go on a trip in 2 years. I mean, it's just ridiculous the rules and the limitations we put around our desires. It's like there's this big divine playground and this massive field of infinite potentiality and we walk into it and like God's like you can have anything you desire. And we look and we see and then we shrink and we run and we hide and we put up walls and we put ourselves in boxes. And we create all these stories of why we can't have it. And I'm not going to keep this much longer today, but I really want to invite you into the possibility of releasing completely from your vocabulary, from your thought process, the two phrases, I can't afford it, and that's too expensive. Especially today with everything going on in the world and the economy. Oh boy, will you be going against the grain? You will be doing the opposite of what a lot of people are doing, and that is blaming external circumstances and conditions that we actually have no control over. But you know what you have control over? Your energy, your frequency, and that starts in your thinking. And your thinking creates a feeling, energy in motion. And your energy in motion creates then an action, a forward momentum. So I can't afford it and it's too expensive. Our frequency of lack, of not enough, of struggle, of striving. Releasing, I can't afford it and it's too expensive. And replacing it with, I desire this. And I'm going to flirt with my desire and trust that if I desire it, I will experience it. It will be revealed as a physical manifestation. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it's done. You will be the one then creating your own economy, and people will want to know what you're doing. People will want to know what your secret is, and then one day you'll be like, I don't say I can't afford it anymore. What? How dare you? Yeah, I also don't say that's too expensive. What? How dare you? And they'll either want to be your friend still or they won't want to be your friend. You get to choose the frequency you play in. And an abundant frequency, you can't have lack in an abundant frequency. You just can't. They can't coexist. You have to move from one state of being to the next, one frequency to the next. If you are in lack, you have to have the awareness that, whoa, this is how lack talks. This is how lack speaks. This is how lack thinks. This is how lack communicates. This is how lack creates. This is how lack keeps me in a same familiar experience and environment that I don't even like. And you have to start getting really familiar what abundance feels like, what abundance speaks as, how abundance communicates, how abundance creates. There's always enough. You have so much that you just want to give all the time. Oh, but Amy, it's you make it sound so easy. Well, 'cause it's always easy, but we complicate it. For example, this morning I was in lack. I have my period. My period sucks most days. I'm trying to change the story around that, but let's just face it, right now, my period sucks. I'm in the depths, I'm in this heavy energy, and I was feeling overwhelmed with all the things that I want to get done that my body's like, it can wait. Because the frequency of waiting when you need self-care is abundance. It means I have an abundance of time to take care of myself. I have an abundance of time to love up on myself and be with myself and be with my uterus and be with my body as it releases whatever it's releasing right now. That I'm so abundant that I get to create the space for me to feel good, to soothe myself, to be with myself right here, right now. And that's what matters. All those other things, I literally was saying, it can wait, Amy. Like those things aren't going anywhere. And I know enough that if I try to get them done from a state of overwhelm, which is lack, I'm just going to experience more lack. So I had this idea to go on an abundance drive. I don't know where it came from. Go on an abundance drive. And I got in my car, and the first song that came on was called Be Loved. And it talked about leaving the known to allow the magic to unfold. Think about that for a second. I was singing this song so loud, and that's all I needed. I needed one song driving in my car. Leave the known to allow the magic to unfold. What do you know right now to be true? Money is hard to come by. I only have so much in my bank account. It goes out faster than it comes in. I don't know where more money is going to come from. I can't afford that. Things are more expensive nowadays. This is what you know for sure right now. Guess what it takes? It takes being willing to move away from what we know to allow the magic to unfold. The magic is talking about the unknown, the 99.999999999% we can't see with our physical eye. It's energy. It's empty space filled with information, which is frequency, sound, and vibration. If you want a new experience, you have to go there. You have to get on a new frequency. You have to create a new feeling. You have to hook yourself on a new thought. Wait a second. What if everything that I desire it because it's for me, it's available to me. I don't need to know how to get it right now. I don't need to know the way. All I need to buy into, which is free, by the way, all it takes is your energy and your focus to buy into the belief that if you desire it, it means you can have it. And then you allow the magic to unfold. And the unfolding is how it comes, when it comes. And that's actually the most fun part. Oh my gosh, the stories I have of when we've created things and they happen, it's always in how they happen. The how that I have no idea how, when it happens, is the most fun part. It's the storytelling that you get to tell. That's the story. And we as human beings are hooked on stories because we get hooked on a feeling that a story gives us. So if the story that you're telling yourself is a feeling that you're hooked on and it makes you feel terrible, let go of the story and create a story. Get hooked on a story that you can get hooked on a feeling that you love. Just like the song says, hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing that you're in love with me. Guess what? Your desire is so in love with you. If only you knew and you let yourself receive that love back. You do it by getting into the feeling because the feeling will guide you to the frequency and will guide you to the higher perspective. And the higher perspective is the overarching thought that if you desire it and you have it, what are you going to think about yourself? What are you going to think about life? What's the first thing that will come out of your mouth? The first thing that would come out of my mouth is, oh my gosh, I will tell you the whole story about how my first $25,000 speaking gig came into my life and how I ordered that blazer. And you know what's funny? As soon as I say that, I'm even hearing the universe go, Amy, because now you're making it a condition that I have to do the $25,000 speaking gig in order to get the blazer. I'm already setting a limit. What I really actually, I was gonna say should, but I don't. I'm trying to catch myself not saying that anymore because we should all over ourselves all the time. And look at that. This ended up being a way longer episode than I anticipated. Time flies. The illusion of time. I am setting a condition, a stipulation, a limitation that I can only get the blazer if I get a $25,000 speaking gig. Holy crap, I'm creating a huge gap. Why would I do that to myself? Instead of setting the intention that I'm going to have the coolest, most effing magical rock star blazer that will invoke a sense of excitement and me feeling like it's literally wearing my magic on the inside, on the outside. That's the frequency. How that blazer shows up, don't know. When that blazer shows up, who knows? Maybe it will be for a $25,000 speaking gig. Maybe it will be for a $1,000 speaking gig. Maybe it will be for some other reason. So why set a limit? I'm glad this happened out loud live on my podcast because we do this all the time. Our egos are so tricky. It's like we create a desire and then we put all these obstacles in the way. Instead of desire, empty space, let the magic unfold. All right, this was fun. If you're still here, I love you. Happy birthday to my son, Bryce. Man, 17. I love you guys. I'm here to liberate your souls. We get to choose. We get to choose our thoughts. We get to choose how we feel. We get to choose how we respond to life. We get to choose how we flirt with money, how we flirt with our desires, and spend our vibrational currency because it is unlimited, untapped, limitless potential and possibility. Until next time, I love you. Thanks so much for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend.